Hey, all right. So I guess the plan is we're gonna go to the sidewalk and speakers will speak and then we'll deliver the letter.
Yeah.
Ideally to Greg Harms himself, right? All right.
I think we'll...
That's what's up.
People need arrest,
Not to be arrested. People need arrest.
not to be arrested. People need arrest, not to be arrested.
I am here as a neighbor, as a community member. I am here, we are here, because it is past time somebody spoke up about the dangerous and inhumane practices of the Boulder Shelter for the Homeless. As you may know, we are coming up on the 1-year anniversary of Benjamin Harvey's completely preventable death. Benjamin Harvey was a longtime Boulder resident who, after going through coordinated entry and being referred to our shelter, was turned away by shelter staff. The reason? 9 months earlier, he had tapped on a window after arriving 1 minute late for the mail pickup time. Rather than showing empathy or respect for a fellow human being experiencing a moment of frustration and human weakness, the shelter staff declared him violent and banned him from services for a whole year. The night he returned to the shelter, they reminded him of this small mistake and sent him away. He died that night, following the city's camping ban law that forbids people, but not dogs, from coverings like a blanket. He froze to death. There was a public outcry after Benji's death, which led the Boulder City Council to recommend that the shelter make a number of policy changes that might protect residents from such a fate in the future. The shelter and Greg Harms refused. We are back with a letter of demands for Greg Harms. We are back with the strength of more than a dozen community organizations, and we are back with the pledge of support from nearly 300 community members. We are back to demand justice and to hold Greg Harms accountable.
If you're homeless in our city and you can't get into this shelter, the law says too bad, go freeze. The City of Boulder policy is clear. No more homeless people. Lock them up, bust them out, let them freeze, as long as they disappear. City policy will only change when us residents say no more, when we force them. No more deaths in our streets.
Mr. Harms, under your leadership, people experiencing homelessness are subject to the arbitrary and capricious enforcement of shelter rules, often resulting in expulsion from the shelter on unreasonably short notice, with insufficient warnings and no offer of transportation. It is clear that something must change. In order to prevent future tragedies and injustices in our community, we demand binding third-party arbitration for resident grievances. We also demand that all active suspensions be re-evaluated by a third party and that suspended individuals referred to the shelter through the coordinated entry system be allowed back. Finally, it is important that residents at your shelter are represented by people who truly empathize with their position and understand the struggles they face. Therefore, we demand that individuals who are currently or formerly homeless be given a place on the shelter's board of directors.
Yeah!
No one better understands the needs of people experiencing poverty and homelessness than those who have dealt with it firsthand. It is necessary that those individuals are given a say in how the shelter is run. The people of Boulder refuse to stand by while the city's most vulnerable are denied their basic right to shelter, putting their health, safety, and lives at risk. We refuse to believe that people experiencing homelessness forfeit this human right by failing to act with perfect compliance and obedience towards authority. In a society that punishes poverty and criminalizes homelessness, the very least we can do is ensure that disadvantaged people are treated with fairness and dignity within the very structures designed to help them.
House the poor, tax the rich.
House the poor!
Tax the rich. House the poor,
Tax the rich!
House the poor, tax the rich. 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 House the poor, tax the rich.